AI is bad. AI is bad. That's the sentence that got people's attention when I first wrote it. But I don't mean it the way the headlines mean it. I don't mean AI is evil. I mean AI is not a replacement for human thinking, something I see a lot of young creators doing. And if you treat it like one, you will lose something that no AI model can ever give you: relatability, authenticity, and the messy human emotions that make writing stick. Stick with me for the next 20 minutes, and I will tell you how AI has made me a better creator, how AI nearly made my work soulless, and exactly what I do now to keep the human touch in the loop. Let me run you quickly through my background with AI. For the past 2 years, I've been using ChatGPT like a whole lot, not as a toy or a gimmick, but as a collaborator and as a partner. It has helped me prototype products, validate app ideas, map growth strategies, draft scripts, and even write my tweets. In July this year, I leaned on it for writing. I thought since it already knew my stuff, it knew my history over the past 2 years, my voice, and my past, why not have it write my content? Week after week, I had it draft me tweets. Sometimes I edited, often I did not. During this time, I learned two things. The first thing I learned is AI is brilliant. It is brilliant at producing fluent, readable copy. And the second thing I learned is when you overdelegate your thinking, you lose the threads that hold your voice together. I started noticing a pattern. One tweet would resonate with me, it was good, and I really loved it. It represented the goal my brand was driving. My brand is driving. The next day, a different one. It wouldn't resonate with me and my personal brand at all. It would feel detached from my purpose. Yes, logically, the sentences made sense. It was basically English grammar and it had a meaning in the dictionary, but to me, it had no emotional meaning. There was no depth to the words. I couldn't visualize the meaning. And when you compare the previous tweets to the next, they didn't seem like it came from the same person. Each one read as if it belonged to a different profile and brand. Yes, some had clever phrasing, but they had no emotional beats. Others landed the facts, but they all felt like a miss. That's when it clicked, and I realized AI was writing like an excellent mimic. It was basically copying me. It could sound like a professional writer, but it couldn't sound like me. It wasn't layering my lived context. It did not have my experiences. It did not have my scars. It did not have my mistakes. It could not. uh, It could not explain my pattern of thoughts or the emotional rhythm I exuded. AI was producing text without the continuity and the interconnectivity that created relatability. That lack of continuity matters. People don't follow a brand for single lines or sudden viral spike. They are not there for the sudden spike. They are there for the whole journey. They are there to follow a voice, a perspective, a person. Consistency in voice is what builds that. That which is trust. AI can't create that voice unless you carefully teach it your patterns. Let's be frank with ourselves. AI is not sentient. It doesn't feel, it doesn't remember, and it doesn't suffer the way we do. It doesn't have a life with mornings, mistakes, wins, humiliations, heartbreaks, accidents, injuries, and tiny celebrations. What it has is a statistical map of language. It doesn't really understand language, it just has a map it follows about our language. Because of that, AI excels at predicting patterns. It gives you structure, polish, and a thousand options. But it won't have your memory of the messy late night phone call that change your perspective about things. It won't have the sarcasm you only use with your close friends. It doesn't hold your internal contradictions. The times when you feel like things are not working, but they're working, but you just can't decide on something. Your inner turmoil, and that is not a bug. It's actually a boundary. This boundary is useful if you accept it and learn to use it to your advantage. Accepting it allows you to use AI for exactly what it is built for: accelerating routine thoughts, iterating surfacing alternatives. You keep the human job, the thinking, the feeling, the connecting, the relating, and you let AI do the mechanical work. That's the good part of using AI. Using AI made me a better thinker. How? There are three ways this happened. The first one is sharper comparisons. When I get an AI draft now, I can now compare it to my own work and spot what is missing. That's easier than starting from scratch, really. The draft surfaces options I wouldn't have considered, and I learn which choices support my voice. Two, faster iteration, that's faster execution. Instead of staring at a blank page for hours, I can iterate five alternatives in less than 5 minutes. Then I choose, edit, and layer in emotion. This speed gives me bandwidth to test more ideas and feel faster. And we all know the fastest way to get to success is to feel more and feel faster. Critical listening, which is the third way AI made me better. AI heightened my critical ear. When I read other people's tweets now, I spot places where an emotional beat could have amplified the point. Yes, humans are emotional animals. You need to drag their emotions. I now improve everything I write with that sensitivity I learned from AI. So yes, AI didn't replace me. It taught me how to spot weaknesses and strengthen the things that matter. Here's a practical framework you can use to use AI without losing your voice. If you want to work with AI but keep your humanity, here is a practical 5-step framework I use. I want you to be able to copy it after this video. Step 1, anchor the memory. Everything you do with AI needs to be tied to something. AI has a bad habit of derailing from points, diverging from its purpose. For example, you could give it a task today, a task you repeat on a daily basis, and give it to you today. Then you come back tomorrow, you need to continue. When you compare the answers it gave you today and the ones you got tomorrow, you see that there is difference. It has diverted from its original course. So, first step to do is anchor the memory. Before you ask AI anything, write a 2 to 4 line personal anchor of who you are, your recent experience, your recurring themes. This will serve as your North Star. Paste it at the top of every prompt you want to give to AI. Example of the memory anchor could be, this is a structure only example. It could be, I am name, your name, you write your name there. I write about X. My recent focus is Y. And my voice is blunt but curious. Keep it short. In most cases, it is hard for AI to adapt to your voice. So you could just keep it as, I'm name, I write about X, my recent focus is Y. Then when it absorbs your anchor, let's move to the second step before I tell you how to apply that. Step 2, use AI to generate variations, not replacements. You want AI to give you ideas. You don't want it to give you something you just used to replace yourself. No, it fucks things up like that. Let it give you variations that you put to use and you analyze with. I mean, you experiment with. So, ask for 8 to 12 options of the same idea. The goal is to get choices. Then pick the direction that matches your internal cadence. So, this is what I'm saying. When I said AI finds it out to replicate your voice, even if you tell it your voice is blunt but curious, you still have to be the one to adapt it. So, when AI gives you variations, when you pick the ones that fit with you most, that's where you add your voice. It could be by tweaking maybe pronouns now and adding your own personal experience. But before we go too deep into that, let's move on to step 3. Step 3, force a human pass. When I say force a human pass, I'm talking about when you look at the variations the AI has given you. You look at it, you ask yourself, is this something I would say? Is this something my friend would say? Is this something my girlfriend would say? Is this something my dad would say? Is this something my mom would say? Is this something my boss would say? Is this something my neighbor would say? But that's a lot of would say. So you can just cut it down to two questions. It could be, would I say this? Would my friends say this about me? If the answer is no, then you need to rewrite. Even a single sentence edit often restores voice. Yes, a single sentence edit often restores voice, but sometimes you don't need to go that far. You might just need to change 1 or 2 words or 3 words. Probably the noun, the pronoun. You could just personalize things here and there, and it becomes your voice. You adapt it into your voice that way. It's just that simple. Step 4, connect the thread. Yeah, keep a running doc of your recurring motifs and metaphors, things you tend to use all the time, things you tend to say. It could be a punchline, something like that. These will serve as the mental models you use often. If a new piece AI gives you does not fit in the motifs you have kept, either adapt the motif to your own voice or adapt the piece. And if adapting is not possible here, discard it. Don't let it fuck you up. Don't say because AI gave this to me, I need to use it. No, sometimes less is more, and sometimes subtraction is what you need for to actually grow for growth. Step 5: add an emotional bit. AI likes facts. Humans like feelings. We're emotional animals. Before we consider a decision, we always consider the emotional impact it will have on us first. So, for every piece, add one sentence that reveals a small human truth, a truth about yourself. In this case, you cannot just take someone else's story and start making it your own. That's stealing, and that's not you. It could be a struggle, a doubt, a victory. That's what will make your audience nod and share. That's what will make it resonate with you. That's what will make them stick with you. If you do nothing else at all, if you gain nothing else from watching this real video, if you go away with just step one and put it to good use, the anchoring memory. That way you will make yourself better one, at least by leaving this video and putting user step on, you become 1% better than before you started watching this video. It will only take 2 minutes of your time, and it will stop your content from sounding like someone else's. There's a live walkthrough of how to prompt and edit. I don't really want to use ChatGPT right now, but I'll explain to you how this would work. So to create your anchor, first thing you do is create your anchor. To create your anchor, this something like that. You include your name, write about specific topic, then your recent focus. It could be a micro topic in that same topic. Let's say okay, name fad, write about weight loss. Then recent focus, the micro topic. When it comes to weight loss, you could be generally losing fat over your body, or you could focus on micro topic, which is losing belly fat. Then voice, leave the voice out of it. Just give it that. Don't sometimes give asking it to specify a voice might just confuse it. So paste that into your prompt. Then prompt the AI with a role. Tell it you're a twist writer who understands. Then you paste your anchor. Then write your task is to generate 10 tweet variations about one idea, each with a unique emotional hook. So that's a variation of 10 different emotional hooks. Then you give it the constraint. Like I said, if you don't give AI a constraint, it tends to derail from its purpose. It tends to derail from the assignment you give it. It keeps going spread, but you need to keep it in focus. So you give it the constraint. It could be something like less than 240 characters. Maybe use a short or punchy style. No, let's just leave that out. We can always edit it to be maybe short, long, whatever it is we want it to be. When AI returns these 10 tweets, read them quickly and mark the ones that feel like you, that resonate with you. Usually this will be 2 to 3 will be the only one that resonate with you. That means AI has a goal a goal accuracy of 30%. That's 3/10. Edit with the human pass. These three you have chosen. Edit them with the human pass. Insert a one-line personal memory or tweak a phrase so it references something only you would say. You get. Keep the rest as drafts or for reuse. You now have a mini bank to pull from when you're tired. This way you don't have to start from scratch every time. You can now just um you can now just pick, and in less than 5 minutes you're done with what you have to do. Staring at a blank page, that's totally out of your question now. Basically, AI is supposed to make things easier for us. That way it has made your work, it has slashed your work by maybe around, it has cut your work by about 70% of your workload. If you want the exact prompt template I just described to you, I'll put it in the descriptions. So there's something we need to know when using AI. You need to know when to let AI lead you and when to let it assist you. So not all work should be human first. You need to delegate to AI to reduce your workload and make things faster. But there are two conditions to consider before you give a task to AI. So the first condition is when a task is repetitive, discovery based, it needs rapid iteration or execution. It could be things like subject line tests, SEO meta description, structural outlines, and email variations. These are things you can delegate to AI. These are the right set type of things to delegate to AI. And the second things that you should never delegate to AI are things that have to do with work that is identity based, something that comes with defining the person for who he is, that comes with defining an individual for who they are. Maybe your dad, your mom, your girlfriend, your sister, your brother, your neighbor, your boss, your client, your customer, things like that. Things are identity based because it might have to do with their origin story. That it could be a deeply personal essay, maybe an emotional scar, a truth they've been hiding, a memory, a core memory they could never forget. It could be subtle sentiment shifts, an event that resulted in their perspective shifting from A to B. It could be signature metaphors, a punchline only they use, a sentence they would say, something only they would do. These are the non-transferable. These are the things to never even try to give to AI. Don't even try it. If you feel your writing is losing consistency, pull back and for the next 3 weeks, do your work yourself. Because when your writing loses consistency from giving it to AI, this usually is a result of you not even understanding what you are doing. And if you don't understand something, you cannot delegate it. You need to have a clear understanding of your task, your goal, your mission before you can delegate it to someone. It's only something you know you can tell someone. So if you don't understand it, there's no way you can explain to someone else and that person will understand it. So that's the first thing. Over the course of that 3 weeks, do things yourself so you get a better understanding. So after that 3 weeks, when you feel like, okay, yeah, I understand this, there's no way you can present it to me that I wouldn't even know what I'm looking at. There's no way you can ask me that I can tell you. Then you can look at delegating it to AI. When you do this, I'm pretty sure your audience will notice and reward the return of voice. Here's a small mindset shift I want to leave you with. Think of AI as a sharpening stone. Let's say you have a knife. You need to have it sharpened. Yes, AI is that item you use to sharpen your knife. Don't think of AI as a replacement blade. In the end, you need your knife, and in the end, you need your hand to swing the knife. So think of AI as a sharpening blade. I mean, as a sharpening stone. Never replace your blade. This way, it makes your edge keener, but you still bring the hand. Like I said, you still need your hand and you still need your knife. Here's a quick challenge for you to try: the 48-hour test. For the next 48 hours, pick three short things you normally write: a tweet, a comment, or a short post. Use the anchor to generate 8 variations. Apply the human parts to the ones that catch your eye and add one emotional beat to it. Track which version gets better engagement or feels truer to you. Do this experiment and tell me what changed, and you probably find your outputs are better and you feel more present in your work. Some of you are thinking, but don't won't doing the human parts take all the time I saved? The answer is yes at first, like I said. Take the first 3 weeks to understand this. Like I said, yes, it will take your time, but two things will happen in this time. You develop a library of edits and phrases that you use. You get a better understanding. Then you see different ways to apply the same thing you've been looking at all this while that you never knew what to do with. So your human parts will eventually get faster. The more you practice something, the faster you become. And so your audience engagement will improve, and it will compound. You get better signals, better opportunities, and less noise chasing, and better conversion. Others will say AI already knows my style. Why train it further? I say my answer would be style is not just a choice of words. It's what you forget to say. Really. Sometimes it's not what you put into something that determines what it is, or it's what you remove from it that determines what it is. So it's what you forget to say and the angle you return to again and again. That continuity doesn't happen by accident. So is AI bad? Nope. But treating AI as the thinker is what is bad. AI amplifies what you feed it. Feed it yourself as a person. Feed it yourself. Feed it yourself as a person. If you use AI well, it will make your work faster, it will make you sharper, it will make you more critical. If you use it badly, your feed will sound professional and empty. People notice that emptiness. And then people notice that emptiness more than they notice polish. It's true. We're bad, we have that bad habit as humans. I've once heard of a saying, um, no news is good news. When something bad is happening to people, they tend to show it more than when something good is happening to them. So if you're using AI your how would I say it? Your engagement will just keep dropping. No one will say anything. Yeah. So that would be the signs. So if you want the exact prompt template for the anchor plus the 10 variation method, I'll drop it in the description. Try the 48-hour test and DM me one result that surprised you. I'll reply to a few. If this video helped, like and subscribe for more practical tips. I make stuff that helps people write clearer, do better work, and keep the human touch in the loop. Thanks for watching. Go talk to your AI, then talk to a person. That's the loop and cycle we need.